Welcome everyone, join us today as we celebrate the life and legacy of Clint Warwick, the original bassist for the Moody Blues. From his early beginnings in Birmingham to his role in creating the unique sound that defined a generation. So let's dive in. Clint Warwick, born Albert Eccles on the 25th of June 1940 in Aston, Birmingham, in England. Albert Eccles grew up in a working-class family and developed an early interest in music. Initially, he played the guitar but eventually transitioned to bass, a decision that would shape his future career. Warwick was drawn to music during the skiffle boom of the late 1950s, playing in Birmingham pubs with Danny King and the Dukes. Around this time, Ray Thomas and Mike Pinder, former Crew Cats members, decided to form a new band. They recruited Denny Laine from the Diplomats, Graham Edge from Jerry Levine and the Avengers, and Eccles, who adopted the name Clint Warwick by combining his favorite singer, Dionne Warwick, and actor, Clint Walker, a moniker he would use for the rest of his professional life. The new band initially named themselves the M&B 5 in the hope of receiving sponsorship from the local Mitchells and Butlers brewery, which owned numerous live music clubs, though the sponsorship never materialized. The M&B 5 played their first live show a few days after forming, at the Carlton Ballroom, later known as Mothers, on Erdington High Street, where they became the resident band. The band's name soon evolved from the M&B 5 to the Moody Blues, incorporating the M&B initials and subtly referencing the Duke Ellington song, Mood Indigo. Pinder later mentioned that he was intrigued by how music could influence and change people's moods, which contributed to the name choice. Additionally, blues reflected their setlist, which was primarily rhythm and blues at the time. In their first year together, the Moodies, as they were often nicknamed by fans and themselves, played their own shows, recorded their own music, and provided backing for various blues performers touring England, including Sonny Boy Williamson and Memphis Slim. In the summer of 1964, the Moody Blues moved to London and quickly secured a management deal with Ridgepride, formed by Alex Wharton, later known as Alex Murray, who had worked in Decca Records' A&R division. Under Ridgepride's management, the band signed a recording contract, with Ridgepride leasing their recordings to Decca. Warwick had just become a father, but moved into a Chelsea flat with his bandmates. Their first single, a cover of Bobby Parker's Steal Your Heart Away, with the Laine Pinder original, Lose Your Money But Don't Lose Your Mind, as the B-side, was released in September 1964. Despite some publicity and an appearance on the cult television program Ready Steady Go, the single failed to chart. However, their big breakthrough came with their second single, a cover of Bessie Banks' Go Now, released in November 1964. Promoted on television with one of the first purpose-made promotional films in the rock and pop era, it reached number 1 in Britain, where it remains their only number 1 single, and number 10 in America, where it was released on London Records. They supported Chuck Berry on a British tour in January 1965 as the song raced to the top of the charts. The Moody Blues released one album with Warwick on bass, The Magnificent Moodies, under Decca in the UK and as Go Now the Moody Blues number 1 in the US. Warwick shared co-lead vocals with Denny Laine on the track I've Got a Dream, which also featured Ray Thomas on flute. The album's closing track, Bye Bye Bird, was released as a single overseas and became a hit in France. Warwick and Laine's era with the band is featured on various compilations, such as the Moody Blues Collection. The 2006 CD reissue of The Magnificent Moodies included the rare track People Gotta Give, a Pinder Laine composition from the French Boulevard de la Madeleine EP release. The album also covered the George and Ira Gershwin standard It Ain't Necessarily So, and included a prose poem by Donovan on the back cover. The band's album launch party featured notable guests, including George Harrison, Paul McCartney, and Marianne Faithfull. Despite declining chart success in the UK and North America, they remained in demand for live gigs and continued to be successful in other countries, particularly France, where Bye Bye Bird reached number 3 as a single in December 1965. In early December 1965, the Moody Blues supported the Beatles on what would be their last British tour. Following this, the Moodies embarked on their first North American tour from late December 1965 into January 1966. Although visa issues prevented them from making valuable television appearances, including on The Ed Sullivan Show, their live concerts went ahead as planned. Despite the initial success, feeling stressed by the constant touring and the pressures of the music industry, as well as missing his family, took a toll on Warwick. He left the band and his music career in 1966 to focus on his family and other personal interests. His departure marked a significant change for the band, which subsequently transitioned to a more progressive rock sound with new members Justin Hayward and John Lodge. Following his departure from the Moody Blues, Warwick stepped away from the limelight. He worked various jobs, including running a chain of bakeries and working in carpentry. Although he occasionally played music locally, he largely remained out of the public eye. While observing his former band enjoy ever-increasing success, Warwick's life since leaving the Moodies was dogged by bad luck, eventually leading to a long battle with alcohol addiction. His marriage broke up in 1967, by which time he had 2 sons, Lee and Paul, of whom he was always justifiably proud. Warwick maintained connections with some of his former bandmates from the Moody Blues, sharing that he is always invited backstage. In recent years, he had rediscovered his love for making music. With encouragement from longtime friend Danny King, Warwick released his first solo CD, titled My Life the Waltz, in 2002, dedicating it to his son Paul, who had died tragically young. He was also working on another recording project titled Dreamston, with former Varsity Rag and Cathedral guitarist John Fox, which remained unfinished at the time of his death. Sadly, on the 15th of May 2004, Clint Warwick died from liver disease hepatitis. He was 63 years old. And there you have it. From his early days with the Moody Blues to his later solo endeavors, Clint's dedication to music never waned. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.